Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks podcast. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. It is Mailbag Monday. Make sure you smash that like button for us. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page as well. If you're a podcast listener, follow, subscribe, rate, review, all that great stuff. Goes a really, really long way. We've got a lot of questions, as we always do, but we're going to start today's show discussing the news that broke yesterday via Scott Powers that the Wirtz Corp, very important distinction, not the Blackhawks, the Wirtz Corp, are reportedly purchasing the USHL's Chicago Steel. This sort of came out of nowhere. First thoughts to me were kind of like, cool. That's probably good for the Steel.
Surprising timing, too, with the passing of Rocky. But, yeah, it was interesting, to say the least.
So I did some digging this morning and made a couple phone calls, just trying to get some info, and I was told that Rocky was for sure involved in this. This is something that he's wanted to do, something that he was in on. He has been kind of committed to growing the game in Chicago, because growing the game in Chicago grows the fan base in Chicago, and even if you're growing a fan base out in Fox Valley, you are probably developing some hockey fans, some Blackhawks fans in there. The plan for now is for the Steel to remain in Fox Valley. I asked if the plans were, if the Fifth Third Arena gets approved, which we expect it will, it's just a matter of time, is there a plan to build a more spectator-friendly arena there? The answer to that question was yes, that's the plan, but not necessarily for the Steel. I think the plan is, from what I understand, that they're going to remain in Fox Valley and keep that team growing there, keep that, the franchise growing there, developing the fandom right there. So you've got fans way out west too. So that's what I'm told about that. The Hawks are not taking over any of the day-to-day management of the Steel. They're buying an asset, and the Steel will continue to run as they run. There will be no Blackhawks interference. There's not going to be mass firings and hirings of Blackhawks people. This is not a pipeline situation for the Blackhawks by any means. It is just another thing in the Wirtz Corporation portfolio. I'm trying to figure out, I've heard that NHL teams are not allowed to own junior teams, which could be the reason it's Wirtz Corp and not the Chicago Blackhawks buying them, but it will not be a Ice Hogs Blackhawks style relationship where like all Ice Hogs employees are Blackhawks employees. Yeah. That will not be the case with the Steel.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that makes sense because they operate so independently of each other. You don't see NHL teams getting involved with, Canadian Junior League teams or anything like that. All those players are independent of the professional game on its own, and the USHL is no different than that. So, yeah, I mean, it was an interesting move, but I mean, I think it's good to see where the Steel have gone in the last number of years from being just, not just another, but being part of the USHL, group to where in the last couple of years they've become the staple of the USHL, basically, outside of Team USA and their national team development program. The Chicago Steel have become one of the two marquee programs in the USHL, and the number of players that have come through that have gone to the NHL and have put the Chicago Steel, as Clark Cup champions, as former first-round picks, former number one overall picks. Macklin Celebrini played through there. Owen Power played through there. A number of first-round picks all went through the Chicago Steel. So it's great to see that program will likely continue to get the same kind of funding and opportunities to continue to build that fan base, build that organization, and keep being a landing ground for top tier prospects as they move along through their careers, whether it's to directly to the NHL or to college or anywhere from there. So yeah, good for the Steel. I know it's a great team, a great venue, a great attraction for families and to go out and see hockey at a high level with young players that maybe you don't get down to Chicago for a game or out to Rockford or anywhere else. You can still see a pretty high quality level of hockey out there in Fox Valley.
Yeah, it's a good move for the Steel for sure. Now you have. There's going to be money behind you. Mm-hmm. The Wirtz Corporation is not going to be bouncing any paychecks anytime soon. So you've got a solid financial backer now, and being the top USHL program, one of the top junior programs in all of hockey, it's not cheap. And as in Scott Power's article for The Athletic, the Larry Robbins, who bought the team in 2015, said, pretty much admitted, you don't buy a junior team to make money.
Right.
He said, I didn't buy the Steel for a financial investment and was well aware of the challenges of a junior hockey franchise in what is a deep but crowded market for sports fans and entertainment dollars. Having said that, I do believe a path to provide a great product for players, a great product for the fans, and ultimately turning it into a long-term viable business. I think he's succeeded in that. Mm-hmm. The improvements that have been done over the years at the Fox Valley Ice Arena, they've added in a new bar and restaurant there. It's a great little facility. You got the Country House right across the street. Great burger at the Country House. Can't beat that. It's just going to be interesting to see. I know they say the plan for now is to stay in Fox Valley, which is great. It's a area where fans can become their team. The Kane County Cougars play right down the street. They've been there forever. It will be interesting though if eventually they move to the expanded Fifth Third Arena. If there's it'd be interesting because yes, you want to keep that hockey fandom out there, but eventually money talks, and it's probably a lot cheaper to have a hockey team play in a building you own than a building you have to pay rent in.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. That would be 4, 5, 6 years down the road. That's right. Not that the Fifth Third project hasn't even been officially approved yet, let alone started
breaking
any
ground
or
anything.
I mean, that's years down the road. But be interesting if that ever changes, where they bring them down here to the Fifth Third and then let those. I think that would make them even more appealing as a junior program, because now you get to, as a junior player, 16, 17-year-old, you get to use NHL facilities. Yeah. I mean that nod in the the Fifth Third Arena, likely adding a more spectator friendly, maybe a bigger, more seating, better venue in the expansion is interesting. It could be a Chicago Steel. It could just be a better venue for. I know Chicago Mission plays at Fifth Third as well. With the new women's league, it could open up a door for maybe a professional women's team to be in the city in that Fifth Third Arena within that new league. So there's a lot of different opportunities. But yeah, I mean, if the Steel did move down, it'd be an interesting situation. They'd actually be in Chicago, and they'd be in that facility close to the Blackhawks and close to all the professional amenities. But yeah, taking them out of that region that they've been in for so many years and have built up, it would be an interesting call to see if that gets made. But yeah, like you said, Greg, that's way down the road.
For what it's worth, based on my conversations, it didn't sound like that was something being considered.
Yeah.
Was moving them to Fifth Third. It just I think it's.
I'm just jealous. I mean, for selfish reasons, I'd like them to be down there.
Yeah.
Going out to Geneva is a hike.
It sure is. But I got to tell you,
it's worth the trip though.
I've been to a couple of them, and those games are great. Yeah. I didn't know what to expect. I actually, when I was at the Score years ago, they had me out to drop the puck for a game or whatever.
Oh, Mr. Big Shot.
And I know, and I didn't really know what to expect hockey wise, and I was like, damn, this is. I enjoyed that more than the Wolves game. It was awesome, high level, like intense.
More NHL talent.
There was a lot of NHL talent. There were a lot of scraps. It was very entertaining.
Last time I went to cover when they were in the Clark Cup final, 2021. It was right after people can get back into the arenas, and I went out there to do an article for the Hockey Writers, and that's when they still had Sean Farrell and Matthew Cornado and some guy that nobody had ever heard of at the time, Adam Fantilli, as a 16-year-old was on that team. So that they won the championship that year and that game that night. But I got to talk to a few guys. Mackie Samasevich was on that team as well. So, they're rolling, and I don't think that sounds like a sound plan. Yes, we're buying the team, and we're not touching it. Like, you're successful, do your thing. Basically, we're the new people that sign your paychecks. It's business as usual from here on out.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine at some point they have to have some kind of input on some staffing and stuff. But
I'm sure. But for now,
because they'll probably audit like what is necessary, what needs improvement.
Everybody may have to re-interview for their jobs.
Sure.
That happens a lot. We've all, I think, at one point or another, have worked for a company that was bought out by another company, and there's always some uncertainty and but usually it's a pretty smooth
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss.
Pretty much.
That's it. Yeah. All right, it's Mailbag Monday, so we're going to get started with questions. We're going to start with with one from the crowd. Barbara has wandered into the CHGO Blackhawks chat looking for the Cubs show, so we're going to help her out. The Cubs will be on postgame tonight, Barbara, and no, the Blackhawks have not bought U.S. Steel, the steel company, the Chicago Steel, are a junior hockey team. So
that'd be
Barbara,
a much bigger purchase.
Yeah,
I don't know if they have the money for that.
No, I don't know. It's a pretty big one.
She also wants you to reenact the way Cody drinks out of a beer bat. She wants you to drink out of the Stanley Cup on the show.
Sure, when they win the Stanley Cup,
we'll have
be happy to do that.
We'll have Connor Bedard bring the Stanley Cup here, and I'll drink a sparkling water right out of the top.
Sounds great.
By
the way, I saw something.
Orange cream.
Whatever one is old.
Where was I? I was watching something today. Somebody on Twitter did. How many beers does a Stanley Cup hold?
Yeah, I
17.
Yeah,
17 beers.
That's a lot
for 17 seconds. How about that?
Could you finish the 17 beers in 17 seconds?
Absolutely not. No, I don't think ever could I have done that. But now that I'm old, hell no. I have 1 or 2 beers a day, and I got a headache the next day.
That's also not an ideal pour to have the whole bowl full of beer. It's going to spill all over your face.
Could you beer bong it via the cup to the bong? Does that count?
You'd rather just drink out of the cup.
There you go.
You'd rather just get it out of the cup, right?
I like that idea.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the mailbag questions here.
All right,
take our first break.
First up from Garrus18. What is an underrated number worn by players? What number do you want to see more players wear?
Very nice number.
69.
An underrated number.
It's not underrated. It's just underworn.
Underrated? Man.
Not enough guys wear number 1 in hockey.
Well, it's goalies.
Let's see a
No,
forward.
goalies wear 1. Yeah, you're right.
Not
about
even
that.
A lot, but a lot of teams have it retired too.
Arizona Coyotes don't.
No, that's true.
But Logan Cooley number 1.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
Come on, that'd be fun.
I'm a big fan of double numbers, and I think
Double
one
digits.
that's not used enough is 44. I love 44. It's one of my favorite numbers.
Good defenseman number.
That is a good.
Yeah, well, it works for everybody though. It's just a solid. It looks big.
Double numbers are aesthetically pleasing.
I've always been a big 44 guy. I like number 40 a lot. I wore 55 when I played football. Yeah. I love double numbers.
I'm with Greg. I want to see more forwards wearing single digits. You don't see that as often, but I think because again a lot of them are retired. But
yeah, it's kind of like in the NFL for decades. It was like wide receivers could only wear number 80, and now they're wearing whatever number they want.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Like screw it. Like if I'm a forward and I want to be number 2 or number 3, stop me.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Isn't Ryan Donato was wearing number 8 this year?
Is he? There you go.
But that's been worn by forwards before for the Hawks. Kubalik and Schmaltz.
had it. Schmaltz, yeah. I'm thinking like numbers like 2 or 4 or something like that.
I want to see a forward, an all-star forward with number 1. It would be so cool.
That'd be a really.
It would sell a ton of jerseys just because
Justin Fields, my friends.
Yeah,
but I just think that the number 1 is such a it's a goalie number in hockey and soccer too. Like I don't know, it's tough to break that stigma.
Well,
Goalies are weird, man. If they want number one, I don't think you're going to say no.
Yeah, just I can't think of a number one in the league right now.
next,
A number one?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I don't
that's
think
actually
there's
a
any.
good
I don't think
question.
there's any right now. No, I mean nobody could wear it on the Hawks.
Does not Spencer Knight?
All right, there's 9 players wearing number 1. Casey DeSmith,
Okay.
Lucas Donstall, Brian Elliott, Dylan Ferguson, Christopher Gibson, Thomas Greiss, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen,
Of course.
Jakob Skronik, and Jeremy Swayman. There's your current
All right.
number 1s.
There you go. He was
you
number
go.
1. Are we good?
Sure.
Let's do the next
All right.
one.
Well, from underrated numbers to underrated players, Charlie the Bacon Guy, who's the most underrated player in the NHL?
Charlie,
really
I
good
appreciate
question.
your bacon. I had it this weekend up in Wisconsin visiting family, and it was a hit with everybody, including the kids. So
Bacon's great.
bacon's amazing.
Charlie, by the way,
Especially
you got to
from
listen
Charlie.
to the latest I'm Fat podcast. You got challenged by another listener.
Oh,
Yeah.
To like a fight or a bacon
Well,
off?
you got to listen. You got to listen to
Okay.
find out.
All right, I will listen.
I got to sell. I got to sell
Over
while I
you
work.
Plug in your other job
right,
on our
yeah.
show.
Who's an underrated NHL
first
player?
guy I
There's
thought
so
of
many.
was Sebastian Aho, who just signed a new deal under $10 million with Carolina. I just think he's really, really good. I don't know if he's the most underrated.
Yeah.
I always try to think of a guy who's like second fiddle to somebody.
Well, to me, I think the most underrated player this past season was a guy I thought should have won the Hart Trophy, Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good one.
Like he scored 50 goals and didn't even get one vote for the Hart Trophy.
And there's your third fiddle, at least. on that
Yeah,
team.
right.
I mean, so he's underrated because you're right. When you think Avalanche, the first names that pop up are going to be Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar,
Maybe even Landeskog, even though he hasn't played.
you know, and then you get to
Mikko Rantanen.
Mikko Rantanen,
Yeah.
50 goal scorer Mikko Rantanen.
That-
I think he's criminally underrated right now.
That's actually a great answer. Jason T says Jason Robertson from Dallas too.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it also depends on where you play. Like if you're like Aho's in Carolina, yes, they've been very good for a while, but it's not your traditional quote hockey
Yeah.
market. They're not on TV that much. You know, they're not. You're not on the Rangers or the Bruins. You know, you could be mediocre on those teams, and they'll
you're a
fans will
superstar.
want to put you in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I mean, we could probably have an entire show on underrated.
Do you just feel like
Hockey players.
Elias Pettersson is slept on?
A little bit.
I think he's
Yeah.
fantastic. He's just in an
because
he's in an organization that
Yeah, he's playing
doesn't
for a
have
dumpster
the
fire.
direction that is going to make him,
Yeah.
put him on that upper echelon in the league. I think he's one of the most least talked about, like super skilled superstar players.
I agree.
A couple other from the comments. Clayton Keller, Josh Morrissey's a good one.
Jonathan Huberdeau has been underrated for a long time, and
Yeah.
then went to Calgary and didn't do himself any
Yeah.
favors. The guy we talked about in the Stanley Cup final, criminally underrated. Again, didn't do himself any favors in the final, but Barkov from Panthers
Yeah.
is a guy. You could even say Aaron Ekblad is very underrated too, being a former number 1 overall pick and just kind of like doing his thing in Florida, where up until this past spring, nobody really paid a whole lot of attention
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Barkov's the guy. Whenever you read like the preseason polls from players, when players are asked who's underrated, they all say Barkov.
Yeah.
So that's a good one.
From Sports Genius 38, how many players are invited to training camp, and in general, how is it run? Are there cut down dates, or does everyone go through camp and then they decide who's going where?
I don't think there's a limit. I
No,
think
they
you can bring
usually-
whoever you want.
It usually starts with 2 teams, and 2 pretty full teams. Maybe like 2 teams of 25 or so. Would you say, ish?
Ish. Yeah.
And then
there's usually 50 to 60 guys to start.
Yeah. It's not like the NFL though, where there's days you have to be down at a
Right.
certain number.
They usually
And- yeah,
cut down
and if
days are
you-
usually after preseason games. You
And-
let them
and
play one game and go.
The cuts are not like, oh, now you're a free agent. It's no, you go back to your junior team or you go back to
AHL,
Europe or you're
Right.
going to be an ice hog. Yeah.
So they kind of maybe give, if they want to give a guy a longer look, he might stay longer than a guy in a similar situation.
Yeah.
Even if they don't project him as high as the other guy, the lesser player might stay longer just so he can get a look, spend more time with them, make a plan.
Yeah.
Like it's not as
There's no.
it's not as cut and dry as the NFL.
Yeah, there's no like you have to be down to 40 by this date. You
Right,
have to be
yeah.
down. No, you just have to be down to your opening night roster by opening night. That's pretty much the only rule. So, usually the morning after those games, well, maybe because usually they'll play like
2 or 3 games
they'll
before
they'll play like 2 games on back-to-back nights, but it's literally 2 different teams.
Yeah.
There's the road team and then the home team. And then after those 2 games, they'll probably
they whittle it down,
trim down 10 or 15 guys, and then do the same thing again, trim it down, and then your last 2 games, you pretty much have, maybe up to 10 extra guys, and then you get it.
The first 2 weeks of training camp, the sessions are session A, session B, because they have so many players, and then that second 2 weeks, a week and a half, it's all one because they're down to 30 guys, and it makes it a lot easier to cover.
I know I speak for all of us here. I cannot wait for training camp to start. August is going to drag.
Absolutely.
Back in the day when I was a kid and you're on summer break, August flew by.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's going to be the
day.
longest month of the year. Because it's can we just get to late September, please?
Starts tomorrow.
I cannot wait.
This is a really long one from Alexandre Faripas. I'll kind of summarize this. So he saw something on Twitter talking about the generational talents that have played in the National Hockey League: Gretzky, Lemieux, Crosby, Ovi, McDavid. He basically wants to know, are certain guys just franchise elite superstar players versus are they generational talents? Who do you guys have as truly generational talents? And also a non-hockey one, your top 2 or 3 movies ever.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
double in one,
episode.
just
Oh,
kind of
geez.
summarizing this. 'cause it's a
So,
long
I mean,
question.
when you say generational, I think you're by default saying the best player of their generation.
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean,
that's
he
what
lists
it's
Bobby
supposed.
Orr.
That's what it's supposed to mean.
Bobby Orr is definitely a generation.
Yeah.
He's a once-in-a-lifetime
Right.
player.
Wayne Gretzky, yes. Mario Lemieux, yes. Yager is probably generational, even though, again,
He's
they
played for
played at the
7
same time.
generations.
I think the term generational talent gets thrown around too much, and
does.
it's lost its luster because McDavid and Matthews and
We've had so many in the past. This is
Jack
truly the golden
Hughes
age.
and Bedard now. They're all kind of in that same similar generation. How would you define a generation? Is McDavid and Bedard far enough separated that they're 2 generations? Because they're 8 years apart in draft year. They're going to play at the same time.
They might be different generations, maybe. Obviously, Crosby and Ovi are same generation. Matthews and McDavid are same generation. Bedard could be he's either the tail end of the McDavid generation or the very
Or
beginning
he'll
of the Bedard generation.
start his own.
I think you're right, Mario. I think it's a term that's overused
Yeah.
a little bit. It just means beyond elite.
Right.
Who are the best of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I think the term generational talent should be held for guys like you said, like Bobby Orr,
Guys who
Gordie
changed the game.
Gordie Howe, Gretzky, Lemieux. There's only so many of those players that you're gonna say if you had a Mount Rushmore of the NHL, who is it? That's where it comes down to. And then you can have trickle downs of guys that are greatest of their generation, but not each generation can have its own Mount Rushmore. It's a whole trickle down.
But the hockey Mount Rushmore now would probably be Orr, Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, and who's the 4th?
Lemieux.
You could make an argument for a lot of guys. I'd say Lemieux is in there.
Lemieux is my first thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I may even go Bobby Orr, Lemieux, Gretzky, and maybe Gordie Howe has been bumped off. Maybe. You can argue.
I don't know.
It's tough.
No one better in his generation. That's for sure.
I mean, could you put a goalie up there like Patrick Waugh?
Brodeur.
Well, that's the thing. Waugh was listed as one of the guys, is he generational? Well, him and Marty Brodeur, 2 of the greatest of all time, played in the same era.
Same generation.
I mean,
Same as Dominic Hasek too.
It's like the use of GOAT.
Yeah.
Everyone's
my
goat.
God.
Oh, it is a goat. This is the goat. The goat tacos. The goat sandwich.
It's
the goat,
goat-
basketball. It's no.
I do enjoy goat tacos.
By
I've had them
definition,
before.
goat is one person.
Yes, or one thing.
Yeah,
The goat is Wayne
greatest of
Gretzky.
all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
The term GOAT is thrown around so much, it's lost all its meaning, except when talking about Will Gottlieb. He's the GOAT of CHGO,
Well,
of
of
course.
course.
Then top 2 movies.
Oh my! I don't have enough time to go
Man,
through
it's-
through
I
his
can
catalog.
give you-
First 2 that come to your mind.
Oh Lord. I need more time to think.
My favorite movie of all time. I can give you my favorite movie.
Sure.
It's
Yeah, that's
Empire
works.
Strikes Back. I love Empire
good
Strikes
choice.
Back. I love it just because it's one of the few movies where the bad guys win at the end.
Yeah, it's true.
Like you rarely ever see movies that where bad guys win at the end.
Except Karate Kid.
And it's like, the ultimate bad guy winning at the end. Like the baddest of the bad guys gets the upper hand. It's so cool. I love that movie.
Upper hand. See what you did there. Boy, when I think about this, I'm trying to think of movies I never skip. Like if it's on, I'm like, well, this is on, so I'm watching
Shawshank Redemption's on that list.
We used to call it at the score getting Shawshanked.
Yeah.
That's like the verb is.
I call those drop the remote movies.
Yeah.
As soon as you see it, you drop the remote because you know what you're doing.
I can't choose a favorite, but I'll say Big Lebowski is up there.
Yeah.
I love Three Amigos. Three Amigos is one of my favorite movies ever. Most of the Star Wars original trilogy is in there for me.
Yeah. I lump the Lord of the Rings trilogy as a whole.
Yeah.
Like, those are great movies.
I would say Major League is another one I can't skip.
That's a good one.
I love Major League.
Bull Durham's on that list.
Yeah.
I love Bull Durham.
All the ones you guys just mentioned. They're all great.
Yeah,
all
Clue
classics.
is one of my favorite movies of all
I've only
time.
seen that once.
Clue's
Really liked
great.
it.
Oh, my God. I
Oh,
love that movie.
Goodfellas is a great one by Chris
Goodfellas.
Dubiel.
Yeah.
Goodfellas,
And
yeah.
Sandlot,
Goodfellas.
he says. Yeah,
Yeah,
Goodfellas
there's so
is
many.
one of
There's
those.
so many.
There's so many. I can't even. All of those that you named, yes, they're all on my list.
Empire Strikes Back is my number
Yeah.
one on my movie list, and then it's like a 7,000 way tie for second place.
Goodfellas, though, is one of those ones I can drop in on at any point in the movie.
Except when it's on like AMC and they edit it.
Oh, yeah,
I can't watch it edited because you don't hear Joe Pesci's real voice the entire movie.
Yeah, you can't. You couldn't possibly do it. All right, let's do one more before we take our first break here.
This is going to round out the Discord questions from Triple B. Just a question for Jay. I follow the Dave Matthews Band live set list on Twitter, and I see he follows that too. What's your favorite Dave Matthews Band show?
Oh, Jesus.
And what would your ideal
hard-hitting
encore be?
questions.
I'm going to go to the bathroom while Jay answers.
Yeah, Jay's got this one. Yeah.
I've been to 44
Good
shows.
Lord.
Holy cow.
I don't have the date off the top of my head, but there is anytime they play at Alpine, it's a great show. And they played Last Stop in the mid-set, and that was the best show I've ever been to. I can't remember exactly when it was. I'm not like people like will write that stuff down and like log it. I just remember I had a great time, and that's why. I don't know. There's nothing like a Halloween encore. I'll say that. Halloween always makes for a good encore because it's unexpected. All right.
Yeah.
Everybody can come back
Is that
now.
a cover? Is that a cover of the Misfits song? Halloween?
No, it's an original.
44 shows. That's really impressive.
It's been a long time too. I haven't.
That's awesome.
It's been probably 10 years since I've seen them. So, yeah,
Cool.
Nice.
you move out of stuff as you get older.
The only person I know that's been to more Dave Matthews Band shows than you is Jordan Burnfield. He's a old WGN guy, big Cubs guy.
Oh, yes.
So he's been to like 101 now.
That's a lot.
Golly.
Something crazy. Yeah. So he's
Yeah.
got a big
That is a
following.
lot.
Yeah. So yeah, he is still like there was a time in my life where they were my number one band. They're not anymore. But yeah, for people like Jordan, like that will be their number one band forever. And I still love them. It's not the same as it used to be. That's all.
We had a long discussion about this on the way to Nashville, I remember. About
Yes.
Dave Matthews Band and
I think people hate. I got
his
an email this
eras
weekend.
and-
I think it was from Washington Post, like reconsidering Dave Matthews Band. I think a lot of people just hate the scene and hate the idea of Dave Matthews Band without really actually.
No, the music kind of sucks too, but to each their own.
Well, I don't. I see you and I like the same music.
I've tried with Dave Matthews with an open mind multiple times. I can't do it. I can't
Okay.
do it. It's not for me.
That's fine.
I like.
I mean,
I-
there's millions of people who disagree with me, and that's great.
I like the old Dave Matthews pre like 2006 ish. There's a few songs that were more recent that I can vibe with, but it's all the early 2000s and 90s. And my sister was a huge influence on me liking Dave Matthews, and yeah, it's not a band that I'll like go out and search for in my Spotify or whatever. But like I have his songs on playlists, and if they pop up, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm in this mode for the next 4 minutes.
Part of the reason they're no longer my number one band is because they haven't made a great record since 1998.
Yeah.
They've made some decent records since 98, but 98 was their last great record. So it's kind of the more time that passes and the more new albums come out that are not at that level, still you're like, it starts to fade a little bit.
Yeah, I get that. I mean,
We were talking yesterday about My Morning Jacket,
yeah.
and I texted you how I listened to Evil Urges for the first time forever, and you're like, that's their last great album.
Yeah.
And you're right about that.
Yeah, it's the same thing, with my fandom with Pearl Jam. It's they haven't released a great great album in a long time.
Yeah.
They've released some very good ones.
What's your last great Pearl Jam album? No Code? What was it? Was No Code or Yield first?
Yield was after No Code.
Okay.
I think their last great record is No Code. Yeah. That's for Yield is very good. And the stuff after that has great stuff, but I think No Code is the last Pearl Jam album that I can listen to and not skip a song.
Yeah.
That's how I rate a great album. There are a lot of albums from Pearl Jam where there's 3 or 4 songs. I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to that one today.
Lebowski5 says, this is a Dave Matthews thing. Bus's stuff was great. That was 2002. Yes, but Bus's stuff was a recreation of the Lily White sessions that were superior. So that's why that album always kind of bugged me. So they released an album. Little history here. Mm-hmm. It leaked. They had a whole album written. It wasn't completed, but like the demo leaked, and people went nuts because it was great again. And then he completely abandoned that record. And then they released this album called Everyday, which is like this really glossy, poppy kind of stuff. And then, and then they re-released the Lily White Sessions as Busted stuff, but they changed it a lot. It was originally very dark, and then it became very not as dark and not as real, which is why I didn't love it as much. But it is a good record. Oh. You know the guy who leaked the Lily White Sessions?
Was it
says producer
the lead
Lawrence.
singer of Train?
Tell him to get in touch with me. I need a good quality version of it. Thank you.
There we go.
All right, let's get back to the old hockey, but we're going to first tell you about some great meal kits we've been trying over the last little bit.
Yep. Now that we're in the thick of summer, you might be looking for a wholesome, convenient meal to support your sunny, active day. Well, Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, can help you fuel up fast with flavorful and nutritious ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, eat well, and stay on track, reaching your goals. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes, so all you have to do is just heat and enjoy, then go back outside and soak up the warm weather. Ready to feel your best while making the most of your summer adventures? Stick to your wellness goals or premium ready-to-eat meals featuring high-quality ingredients such as broccolini, leeks, and asparagus. Treat yourself to a 34-plus weekly restaurant quality options like bruschetta shrimp risotto, green goddess chicken, and grilled steakhouse filet mignon, ready in just 2 minutes. And if you're too busy running around the day to think about lunch, keep your energy with lunch to go, effortless, wholesome meals like grain bowls and salad toppers, and they're ready to eat when you are. No microwave required. They've got calorie smart options with less than 550 calories per serving. If you need an extra boost to support your wellness goals this summer, you could try the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. They also have awesome snack assortments you can get. They have great smoothies.
Smoothies are great.
They sent us some of the smoothies, tropical fruit, mango, strawberry, banana, just great to have along with your breakfast. You can get breakfasts. With Factor, you can rest assured you're making a sustainable choice. They offset 100% of their delivery emissions, source 100% renewable electricity for their production sites and office, and feature sustainably sourced seafood in all their meals. You can get, so this July, well, probably into August too, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/CHGO Hawks50, and you're going to get 50% off your order. That's factormeals.com CHGO Hawks50, and you will get 50% off your order.
That's good stuff. And if you want to get that appetite going and you haven't, you get your Factor meal warming up, head to Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. It is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping, a place where all kinds of visitors are welcome to explore, discover, and purchase a wide array of high-quality products. I know, walking into a dispensary for the first time can be a little bit intimidating. You feel like you don't really know what you're doing. You don't want to sound like a dummy and ask a stupid question. The people at Sunnyside, there are no dumb questions for them. They're there to help. They're there to make you feel comfortable, and they're there to help you on your cannabis journey, which is really important because, back in the day before it was legal, you'd be just getting it from a buddy. You didn't know what you were getting. Now, with it being legal and regulated, you can get exactly the experience you're looking for every time, and the people at Sunnyside can help you do that. And when you choose from their great house of brands, you are going to win. Mindy's, some of my favorites, the best tasting gummy and chocolate edibles created by James Beard award-winning chef Mindy Siegel and Cresco Labs. Cresco, on their own, is a great cannabis company known for their great flower, vapes, concentrates, and pre-rolls. That is my flower brand for sure. And my absolute favorite brand of gummies is the Good News. I take the Counting Sheep gummy, half of one, every night, and I sleep like a baby. They've also got the rechargeable vape pens and cartridges, perfect for great moments with your buddies, but also High Supply, Floracal, Wonder, Remedy, all these great brands, all available at Sunnyside. And through August, head to sunnyside.shop and use code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order, one use per customer, not stackable with other promotions. But that's not only for new customers. Anyone can use that code. Pick up everything you need to elevate your summer. Must be 21 plus or an Illinois MedCard holder. That is sunnyside.shop. Code CHGO25 at checkout for 25% off your total order.
Two things. One, I enjoyed Lightning Bolt from Pearl Jam. That was probably the last one I liked from them.
It's a good album.
And two, I'm not sure if this was made official. I think we all assumed it was going to be made official, but the Wirtz Corporation has approved the secession of Danny Wirtz to now head up the Wirtz Corporation. So,
okay,
I think that's coming from WGN Business. I believe that it was Steve Grasnich. So
that's interesting because I don't know. I wonder what that means for the Blackhawks leadership specifically.
Probably doesn't change much. I mean, he was CEO of the team. It just seems like he's moving into chairman of the Wirtz Corporation. I think that would lead to maybe just a title change of now he's chairman of the Blackhawks.
I just wonder if they're going to hire someone else to come in and fill. You know, I mean, I'm sure that there was a lot of crossover between what Rocky and Danny did, but there had to be some of it that was a little bit different. Now, our belief was, and we were told we were wrong many times, that Rocky had sort of phased out of like the day-to-day stuff a little bit. But we were told that was not the case. So maybe they do hire someone else. I don't know. I'll just say this for the record. I am very comfortable with the Blackhawks in the hands of Danny Wirtz. From every conversation we've had with him, from everything he's said, he's been on it. He has done the right things, right? Like I really, I feel very, very confident with Danny in charge of the Blackhawks. So hopefully that's what happens.
I agree.
All right, back to some hockey questions. Many say that to remain a cup contender for years, you need a true number one defenseman. Maybe the Hawks have one in the system, maybe they don't. But how many guys in the league are there that are bona fide number one defensemen? That's from That Short Guy.
That short guy, sure.
All right. Well,
Cale Makar.
Yeah, Makar's a true number one. That's for sure.
I'll say
Brent Burns. Still, probably not.
No. Makar. Hedman, I think is a true number one still. I think you got Adam Fox in New York. I think he's a true number one. The true number one defenseman. That's a guy that is going to eat up 25 plus minutes a night. He's going to play on one of your power play units, one of your penalty killing units. He's going to be in every situation. So,
Duncan Keith.
Absolutely. Duncan Keith was a number one defenseman through and through for the majority of his career.
Roman Yossi's still a number one.
Yeah.
Quinn Hughes, I think you can throw in that.
I would think so. How about Rasmus Dahlin? Is he at that point yet?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's taken that step.
He definitely is for Buffalo at least. But yeah, I think he's on that level. I think
Drew Doughty. Probably not anymore.
For the Kings, he is. Yeah. Is he like a legit like a?
He
in
was.
the heyday, he was. In his prime, he was.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you can.
I think Heiskanen in Dallas.
He's definitely getting in that range.
Yeah.
There's
Rupe Hintz.
Rupe Hintz is a forward.
Oh, who am I thinking of? Who's the Dallas guy?
Heiskanen. Miro Heiskanen. Yeah,
I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah.
Miro Heiskanen. He will be.
Yeah,
I think he already
he's
is.
Starting to get there. He's their number one defenseman, and they're they were a couple wins shy of getting to the cup. So yeah, I think
Charlie McAvoy in Boston is another one.
Yeah, I put him in that. So I would say
there's teams that have a number one defenseman for that team, and then there's guys that are like you'd be a number one on basically every team.
This is like the generational talk again.
Yeah.
It's all a matter of semantics
Right.
and how you define
Because
it.
yes, the Blackhawks have Seth Jones. He's a number one defenseman on the Blackhawks. But is he universally a number one defenseman? Well, it depends on what team he's on.
Right.
If he's on Colorado, no.
If you'd be if you'd be on number one on half of the teams, I think you're
I would
a
say
league-wide number one.
Those type of guys, there's probably a dozen of those guys in the league.
Yeah,
right
that
now.
sounds about right.
Like little less than half the team have a guy that would be considered a number one defenseman on any team.
Yep.
From Mike, the Blackhawks fan, with Cooley and Fantilli both leaving college, do you hope to see Moore and Nazar as the surefire number ones on their teams?
They'll have the chance.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The chance is there. Moore being the surefire number one at Minnesota as a freshman would be
It'd be quite the accomplishment.
be hella impressive, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Nazar, I think, has an opportunity to do it in Michigan because this is his second year with the program. But yeah, I think there's a chance. I wouldn't be sold that both of them do it.
Yeah,
that's
they're going to have the
fair.
opportunity to definitely play expanded roles and make the most of that opportunity. So it's going to be fun to see what more. I think Nazar was going to be an expanded role regardless.
Yeah.
Being the fact that it's his second season in Michigan, but it'll be his first full season. And yes, with Fantilli now gone, it gives him a shot to bump up. And, does Oliver Moore get the first chance to take Logan Cooley's spot? I don't know. I don't have the Minnesota roster memorized, but I'm guessing no. I'm guessing there's probably a junior or senior that's been there for a while that will get the first look. But does that mean Oliver Moore doesn't get the chance to earn that spot by the way he plays?
Right.
Sure it does. And maybe by the end of the season, he's on that top line. We'll see what happens.
They have good shots, that's for sure.
All right, from Chris to Blasi, congrats in orders for him right now. My girlfriend and I are expecting our first daughter in January. We've agreed on a first name already, but she won't agree to the middle name of Connor Bedard. I think Sophie Connor Bedard sounds great. What's the advice on getting her to agree to the name?
My advice to you, if you want to save your relationship, is let that ship sail.
Yep.
There are some hills worth
Get a
dying
dog.
on, and that's that. Get
a
a
dog.
dog.
Get a
name the
dog and
Connor
name it
Bedard.
Bedsy, and go from there.
Yeah, I say I know that question is in jest, but let that one go.
I don't listen to a lot of country music, but I know there is a song that goes, "You name the kids, I'll name the dogs." I think that's sound advice.
Yeah. I think just my personal philosophy is if you're going to name your something you love after sports, make it a pet, not a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like my daughter, Wrigley Addison.
because eventually everything in sports breaks your heart and hurts you.
Yes.
So
Right.
at least with the pet, the lifespan isn't 60 to 100 years.
Right.
That's all. Yeah.
You can name the dog
Unless it's a
that you
turtle or
named
something.
after the Cubs, and then the Cubs break your heart. So you can name your next dog after your new favorite baseball team.
That's it.
There you go.
There you go.
From Chad Campbell, I don't think we've had our typical European prospect signing this summer. Believe Roos was the last one. Coincidence, or does the new regime put less emphasis there?
I don't think the new regime puts less emphasis anywhere. I think they're such a big staff that they're constantly looking for opportunities to improve the team. I would say that's probably a coincidence that they haven't signed one this summer.
The European scouting department has had a really good track record of finding.
Saved he who shall not be named ass.
Yeah, of finding those kinds of players. Panarin, Michael Kempney, Jan Ruta, like those were guys like that. Like, yeah, sure. Ruta,
Ranta was one of those
Ranta,
guys.
are they big time game changers? Some of them yes, some of them no. But I think it just kind of depends on the direction of the organization, one, and the talent pool. Sometimes not every offseason are you going to find, there's a Russian free agent that's a future superstar, or a guy in Czechia that's going to put up 50 goals next. Sometimes there's just not those guys.
Yeah, and I think a lot of those European signings for the Hawks that worked out so well was just an indictment of how bad the prospect pool was. Like
Yeah,
you
to have to go out
had
and
to go
get
to
them,
Europe
yeah.
and bring in
Yeah.
professionally ready guys because you had nobody within your own organization who
David
could do
Camp
that.
was one too.
Yeah, he was. And so, and the Hawks, at least the last 2 seasons, they're drafting more guys out of Europe. You know, you took
Right.
Cancer off, and the giant kid out of Sweden, and Marcel is a European born
Oscarson. Yep.
Last year, you took you took a couple other European kids. So, you know, I don't think they're saying we don't need European free agents anymore. I just think this season there probably hasn't been anybody that's really caught their need, and you know, and they're actually focusing more on developing their own talent now than in the past. You needed guys like Artemi Panarin and Antti Ranta and some of those other European guys. You needed those back in the day because you had nobody in the pipeline.
It was also a smart way to, get some more experienced players for less than you'd have to pay a free agent. So you bring Pia Suter in or David Kampf in, and as opposed to finding their NHL version in free agency for $3-4 million, you bring them in for $900,000 and see what they can do, and then go from there. So it's also just smart hockey to be looking for those opportunities.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, Greg, I think they are turning their attention inward a little bit more to develop the guys that are already here rather than say, well, these guys are here, but I want to go see what else is over there.
It's a lot cheaper to pay a guy on his entry-level contract than a free agent from Europe.
Yeah, and it's easier to kind of mold and develop a player that's under, in your prospect system than it is to just get a guy randomly from Sweden or something. So,
yep.
From Jeff Maroon, little fun one here. For $1 million, could you win a face-off against Prime Taze or score a shootout goal against Prime Corey Crawford?
Just gotta go for the glove hand, man.
that weak glove hand.
For $1 million, I'm taking my chance against Crawford. Taze will take my lunch money.
How many chances do I get? Like, do I get 100 face-offs?
Win a face-off and score a shootout. Is it 1-for-1?
No.
Shootout, you get 3 chances. Let's say that.
No, absolutely not.
3 chances?
I'm not scoring.
I think no on either. But I think if I got 100 face-off attempts against Jonathan Taves, then I might be able to tie up a stick and kick one backwards.
Maybe. He'll get tired at around 77, 78.
Yeah, right. But it's scoring on a shootout goal. First of all, I can't skate for shit. Second of all, if I did, I can't really pick my spot where I shoot.
Hey, Corey, try and block this 18-mile-per-hour shot directly into your chest. I dare you.
Maybe I just crash into him and the puck rolls in behind us, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Surprise him. I'll just blast it right from center ice and see what happens.
If it's 3 chances at a face-off, 3 chances at a shootout, I'll take my chances against Corey.
I would give
you play in a beer league, don't you? Or men's league?
Yeah,
hockey league?
it's nothing
I
special,
mean,
but yeah.
Well, I mean, you got the skates underneath you. Yeah, that helps out.
Get the skates. I
might take my chances on the face-off because I know I can't score on Corey Crawford.
No.
The face-off, you can cheat maybe a little bit, or the puck bounces funky on the ice, doesn't hit flat, and there's more randomness, I think, to a face-off than just me skating slowly at Corey Crawford and flicking a puck towards him.
Just what am I going to do that's going to fool him? There's nothing.
I don't
Like, he's going to see the angle of the stick, the angle of the blade. Like, no, there's no shot. I think a face-off, if I get 100 chances to beat Jonathan Taves at a face-off, maybe I can win one or two. Maybe
1% face-off percentage.
I'll take it.
I'm like Kirby Doc.
In practice against Jonathan.
In practice, yeah.
Ouch, that was a little.
He was more. He was 30%.
That was hard.
You don't undershort him. You're like 32% short there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I do the face-offs. Galaxy Trash. Now that Danny is the owner, does he retain CEO duties?
We'll find out.
Yeah, not sure, but
I'm guessing
feels that
nothing
way.
much changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. From Anthony
like he's keeping
Enreth,
that
let's
one.
hear your top 5 rinks in the NHL. Can be based off however you feel correct, whether that's actual building atmosphere or both.
Well, haven't been to 5 NHL rinks, I will admit.
I can rank the ones I've been to.
Sure.
United Center is the best. It's huge.
You're so biased.
It's huge concourses.
Yeah.
It's loud as hell. There's tons of seats. It's always a decent crowd.
Food is great.
The food's great. The anthem's
Tons
great.
of options.
Easy to get to.
Easy to get to. Plentiful parking. Great stuff to do in the area.
Yeah.
Cool. I've been to Madison Square Garden. It was impressive, but as I feel like all things New York, a little bit overrated, a little bit oversold.
Arena?
No. I mean, what's cool about it is a lot of cool stuff has happened there.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, I get that. But in terms of like watching a hockey game, it was all right. It was cool. Nothing crazy special.
Yeah.
I would say second was, I don't know what they call it. Is it Scotiabank Place in Toronto?
It's now called
It was Air
Scotiabank,
Canada
yeah.
Center when I was there.
Yeah.
Very cool. Obviously an awesome atmosphere to be in Canada for a hockey game. That was really cool. Tampa is just a cinder block. There's nothing special about it.
Amalie Arena.
Boston's all right. Nothing to write home about. I like Columbus a lot. Columbus is a fun place to see a game.
I hated
Except the
my
damn
experience.
cannon.
I hated my one experience in Columbus was 2010. It was Cristobal Huey's last ever game in the Blackhawks
Ooh,
uniform.
you're going to hear a lot of cannons.
Because he gave up 7, and we sat 3 rows in front of the cannon. We were wondering, why are these tickets so cheap? Well, we find out. And when Cristobal Huey gives up 7 goals, F that place. I never want to go back there.
That's rough.
Yeah. United Center is fantastic. Love it. Wish I could have seen Chicago Stadium, but never got there.
I can still smell Chicago Stadium. That
smells like pee and beer.
smoke.
We've been to Bridgestone, but not for a hockey game for me. You have.
I've been there.
It's okay.
It's annoying. The fans are real annoying in Nashville.
I can believe
so
it.
Echoey.
Everything is a chant.
Yeah.
Everything
it's
is
Bush League. It's like going,
sing-song.
It's like going to a college football game
Yeah, well, it's not even that
or
fun.
a college basketball game.
Do they do the
Maybe.
wave there?
No, but everything's got a song. Everything's got a chant. They do that. It's all your fault. It's all.
It's like going to a high school.
It's a high school
basketball
hockey game.
Yeah, that's what it's like.
Yeah, it's and it's not that great of an arena. It's weird. It's dark. It's very echoey. My favorite, and again, I haven't been to a ton of them. Hopefully, over the next handful of years here, we get to all of them.
Get to a few more.
My favorite, I love Excel Center in
I'd love
St.
to see
Paul.
that one.
That's
Yeah.
a great
Would love to
hockey
get out
arena. And I like Ball Arena in Denver. That was nice.
It was
cool.
cool.
The whole area around it, and it was a nice, not super huge arena. Good sight lines for a hockey game. I enjoyed that.
Being there for the morning skate was cool. Didn't get to see the
game.
The game there. Mario and I stayed back at the DNVR studios, but that was cool. I forgot about St. Louis because it's incredibly forgettable.
Yeah, it's,
There's just nothing memorable about the arena at all.
I went to the Joe Louis Arena back in the day. That was a dump.
Yeah, it was a charming dump.
It gave off like Allstate Arena type vibes.
Very much so. Were you in the press box?
No, I went as a fan years ago.
I may have told this before.
But the press box was like comically small.
Literally, if you're watching on YouTube, my hands, I'm probably about maybe a foot, maybe 14, 15 inches. That's the walkway. You have to literally walk in the press box, like back against the wall, sideways at the shuffle. And the little like broadcast booths are so small that the cameraman is outside the booth. And they cut out a hole in the wall, and he's got his camera through the wall hole. Jeez. And that's how he's filming the pregame stand-ups.
And the second anybody stands up, I hated watching games at home from a joke because anybody stand up and you can't see the guys.
It was brutal. That was a really bad angle there. And then there's just cables just running through these narrow hallways. The Joe was a dump. For me to see it in person after all those years of witnessing Hawks losses on TV, and they always do the B-roll of Joe Louis Arena, it was kind of like, wow, I'm actually in this building, which is kind of cool. But other than that, like if I was just judging it on hockey viewability, dump. I want to go to Little Caesars though. I heard Little Caesars.
I heard it's great.
Awesome.
My cousin lives in outside of Detroit, and he says it's amazing. So I'd like to go up there for a game at some point.
I'd love to see a game in Montreal.
Yeah,
I feel like that arena, that atmosphere would be fun.
I hear nothing but great things about Edmonton, the Oilers arena.
Mm-hmm.
Great ice. We know that.
Is that Rexall?
Rexall place. Yeah.
It used to be Rexall? No, it's Rogers now, isn't it?
It's one of like 8 Rogers arenas in Canada. But I hear that's an awesome place. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't want to go to any of the Canadian rinks, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot of fun. I want to do, before it's gone, I would love to do the catwalk of death to the press box in Calgary.
In Calgary.
Just to say I've done it.
Yeah,
absolutely
I
not.
I'd be down
remember
for that.
John Weideman and Troy Murray and Joe Brand were all talking about that to me when I was in a booth with them one time. They're like, "Yeah, we're going to walk the catwalk." I'm like, "What arena are you guys talking about?" And it's really cool. They had like the video and everything.
Oh yeah, I'd love to.
It would be
do
fun.
that once.
Nope. No thanks. You guys can cover that game. Thank you.
Sure, that's fine.
From Walters Ringer, with the Wirtz Corporation purchasing the Chicago Steel junior hockey team, what ramifications are in the NHL? Also, how are they allowed to do this? You guys kind of touched on this.
Yeah, we sort of touched
The
on
Wirtz
it.
Corporation, not the Blackhawks, so there's no connection.
No technical connection to the
Blackhawks. It's basically, we've already hit that one. So it's fine.
Hit the rewind button. Happened at the beginning of the show.
Listen to the first 10 minutes and you get your answer to that question.
From Andrew Neve, if you guys played hockey, what's your jersey number, position, and why?
I used to play forward on the wings. I never was good at face-off, so I never played center. When I play, because no one wants to play defense, I default to being the guy that plays defense. So I'm a right-handed shot, so I'm a valuable defenseman, apparently.
Get you a jersey for training camp.
There you go. And yeah, I used to wear number 2 as a kid. So if I was on a team with a jersey, I would pick that one.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy defense more than offense, to be honest with you. Be your old school stay-at-home defenseman, definitely not your puck-moving athletic defenseman by any means.
Yeah.
But I kind of liked, a little bit I played back in the day, be it roller, floor hockey. I liked just being in front of net, pushing people out of the way,
Power forward.
Yeah, that, or defenseman. And I don't know, for whatever reason, anytime I liked number 39 as a hockey number.
It's cool.
Especially for
different.
if you're going to be a power forward, fourth line grinder, or
like Tyler Arneson
or or Enrique Ciccone.
Or
if you're going to be sixth defenseman, stay at home, 39 seems like a good number for that.
So good. I didn't get into hockey until I was older, like probably 7th, 8th grade, and I was already well into my baseball and football career. So I never played like in an organized. Well, I played organized roller hockey, and I was a goalie in the Orland Park Roller League.
Nice.
And I wore 91 just because it was kind of given to me.
Cool.
If I was to choose, I would choose 77, which is the year of my birth, and a double number. That'd probably be my go-to. Or I would wear 22 for my daughter's birth date.
Oh, nice.
Would be my other go-to number.
It's a nice. I like that when numbers have meaning and not just they gave it to me.
See, this is why my obsession with stuff like that is why I can't get a tattoo, because I need everything to be meaningful.
Yeah.
So if I can't decide, like, to me, to get a tattoo, I have to like perfectly define my life in one tattoo, and I just can't. I've been on the fence about it for 20 years.
Just use your entire back as a big
mural,
big
a
mural.
tapestry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could. It's gonna be furry though. Yeah, I wish I should probably just get like a taco on my elbow and call it a day.
There you go.
Right, but every number I've ever chosen
don't
has
do
had
the
meaning
elbow.
behind it.
That's painful, and it takes forever to heal.
All right,
On
good
the
to know.
elbow?
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad to have you
Too
here
much
now.
bendy.
I
Yeah.
saw this thing on I saw it on Instagram. I'm sure it was on TikTok first, but I don't have TikTok. But I saw this thing where people are now doing like they kind of get like a honeycomb on their arm or leg or something, and they go to different tattoo artists and say, "Here, fill in with whatever you want on the little free space," and they get like this really cool mural. I would never
That's kinda
do that,
cool.
but I find that interesting.
I saw a guy that got a TikTok of a QR code, and when you scanned it, it took you to "Never Gonna Give You Up"
Yeah.
by Rick
Oh,
Astley.
that's funny.
That's
funny.
getting a meme tattooed on you though, and that's
You got to have the right personality for
Yeah,
that.
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
It's like I saw that too, and it's one of the guy's probably 50 tattoos.
Yeah,
So
right.
it's a little less-
That's not your
yeah.
only tattoo. I think something I would like to get eventually is something in both of my my mother's still alive, so I'll wait as a memorial tattoo. But something written in both my mom and dad's.
That was my
handwriting.
thought too.
Yeah.
Like either their signatures or just like
I love you or something
like that.
Yeah.
Find an old birthday card and
Yep.
take something they wrote
That's
on
fun.
that and get that
Yeah.
tattooed. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people that will go and get like a celebrity's autograph with a Sharpie on their arm and then go and
Have
get
it
that
tattooed over
right away. Yeah, but that's a little much for me.
Connor Bedard on your forehead.
Yeah, that's a lot. And celebrities, like you said, they let you down. They certainly let you down.
That's why all my tattoos are attached to somebody or something that like actually meant
Yeah, yours are
something to
good. Yours are meaningful. I like that.
Yeah.
I know. How many more do we have left?
About 8.
Ooh, those are coming tomorrow.
That's
okay.
More leftovers.
Yeah, join us tomorrow. We're going to get to the rest, that's for sure. I'm sure some news will happen, too, that we'll tell you about. But before we wrap up, we want to remind you to get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobblehead, and everything in between. That's our friends at Foco.com. It's baseball season. Get your Aloha shirts, your straw hats, your polos, your bags, everything you need for a Cubs or a White Sox game, and all of this awesome stuff on our set was donated, aside from the Bedard jersey there, from our friends at Foco. Check them out, Foco.com, or use the link in our description below for all non-presale items. Use the promo code CHGO for 10% off. Again, that's 10% off with the code CHGO at Foco.com, Foco.com.
Alrighty.
Stole my read.
I did?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I thought I was going to do it. Well,
All right.
Greg, tell us about the Shady Rays.
We have Shady Rays too? I thought we had we are on top of shit today.
We are. It is aggressively Monday, man.
It is Shady Rays.
I don't know why why I was thinking we had something else today.
Shady Rays day.
I use my
it is
Shady Rays
I don't
this
even know
weekend.
why I need the ad copy. I should know this off the top of my head. But,
Yeah.
Shady Rays, they're really good for sunglasses, and we like sunglasses.
You need 'em on a day like today.
We do need them like today, and they have the gear built to last to take on that big old sun there in the skies. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather that we are enjoying with their premium polarized shades that come at a very affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for all your outdoor adventures, like maybe going to Cog Hill and golfing with us in a couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah.
That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. So if you break or lose your pair, say at Cog Hill or maybe at our Cubs Sox takeover here on August 16th, even on day one, no matter where you break them, they told us they're going to send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. You can wear your Shady Rays with confidence to Wrigley Field or Cog Hill or anywhere else you want to go because they have your back long after you purchase. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much-needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact, from building play sets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS the outdoor adventure of a lifetime. Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it now and for years to come. And if you don't like your Shady Rays, but you will because you're not a weirdo, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. They always have your back. And exclusive for our listeners only, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head over to ShadyRays.com, use the promo code CHGO, and you're going to get 50% off. That's half off any order of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses, so you can finally try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
Yeah. Get yourself some Shady Rays. You need them now more than ever. It's awesome stuff. We all stand behind them. They're great, great sunglasses. All right. We will be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock to follow up and finish up the remaining mailbag questions. Thanks, as always, for the great questions. Make sure you send them to us on Twitter, email, all that great stuff. We'll definitely get to them. If we don't get it to them on Monday, we got Tuesday. We've done it every week since we started the off season. We've had 2 days worth of mailbag questions.
Lots of
Hey,
questions.
here's a mission for our fans. Try to get us all the way to Wednesday next week.
See if we can get to Friday.
Give us a
whole
whole
week
week
of
of
mailbag.
program.
Yeah, we would appreciate
That'd
that.
be awesome.
And you mentioned the Cog Hill outing. We should hit that one time before we go. Friday, August 25th, 9 a.m. shotgun start at Cog Hill Golf Course number 2. It is the CHGO Kickoff Classic. Go to allchgo.com. Go to the events tab, navigate over there, and then click on the Kickoff Classic tab, and you'll have all the info there. Here's what your fee includes: 18 holes with a cart, an exclusive Pins and Aces tee gift, access to our limited edition pins and aces and CHGO polo, hole contest, great giveaways and prizes for contest holes, winning teams, and last place, lunch, drinks, and a ceremony after the round. It's going to be an awesome time. Join us again August 25th, 9 a.m., Cog Hill course number 2, allchgo.com to get your tickets. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow at 2 on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.